Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's Tammy and I am here today to share with you the 2021 MakseLife Goal Setting and Weekly Planner. Let's dive in. Okay folks, you know I love this planner and you know I'm going to love a lot of the changes, but I was sent this year's MakseLife planner for review, so I want to thank the team at MakseLife, Sierra and Darian and Tracy and other community members who really make this planner more than a planner. My opinions are completely my own, and I will be ordering on launch day. So I hope if you find something valuable in this video that you'll click the link below in the description to check out the MakseLife page and possibly consider using my affiliate link. Thanks so much. Let's jump into the planner. So you get this gorgeous MakseLife box this year with the signature color of the coil embossed for the outside of the box. You can use this as a keepsake box for your planner. It's super sturdy, so you could certainly use it for storage, and you can flip it over and use the two different compartments inside a drawer for even more organization. This is my 2021 MakseLife planner cover choice. This watercolor cover is beautiful, and it also has the coil color embossed in the flowers, which I just think is stunning. I'm super excited about this planner. It's kind of a gray background. It still has that embossed linen texture that was true for the planners in the first year for 2020. But this design is just beautiful. And this particular one is one of the artist collaboration covers. I will link the artist below in the description. And there's another one that also has a cover, and I'll talk more about that at the end. Then there are two more choices that are Maxi designs, and I don't have all four to show you today, but I did want to make sure that you got a really good look at my top choice for my cover. Okay, now that we have the box out of the way and we've seen the first cover reveal, let's get into the planner. I want to really flip through this. You can see a full flip through of the 2020 version on my channel. I'll link that here. I want to just go ahead and flip through this as quickly as possible, highlighting some of the changes. Although many of them are simple design changes, fundamentally the 2021 MakseLife planner is very similar to the 2020 version as far as function. But the changes that were made, I think, will make it that much easier to actually work in the planner the way it has been designed from the beginning. You still have gray matte tabs that are like laminated, and I do have a vertical planner here to share with you today. I did try a horizontal briefly in 2020, and I struggled, you guys. I don't think my brain works that way. So the title page is basically the same. You have 2021. You have a welcome letter from Sierra, which is very similar to last year. And then when we start getting into the goal setting, strategies, instructions, guidance, coaching, it's really all of those things. This is where you start to see some of the changes. So pops of color, bolded sections, more distinct lines, so your brain can kind of take a break and focus as you read a lot of information. And you have, I'm not going to go through the actual instructions, but that design style makes it easier to read, and I think it will make it a little faster to actually work through the goal setting part. The quotes that are at the top throughout the planner have also been kind of bolded, the color brought up, and it makes those much more prominent. You then turn into your initial compass assessment, part of the MakseLife system. For the assessment scoring, there's 8 areas in the MakseLife goal setting system. And again, the color has been kind of dialed up. You do evaluate these areas as part of your compass assessment completion. You have a place for intentions. Things like this, the date has been separated out throughout the planner. So if before there was kind of an overlap with like a grayed out date or year or anything behind the main word, that's all been separated, which I think is much easier to read. You have a place for a word of the year. When it comes to setting goals, one of the biggest things you get in a MakseLife planner, and really anybody has access to this, is the MakseLife Facebook group, which I will also link in the description below. And one of the things that Sierra, who is a life coach and a business coach who created this planner, has shared a lot is the difference between stretch goals, progress goals, and maintenance goals. And I really think this is something that a lot of people miss out on when they're trying to work through goal setting themselves without a personal coach. So there's information here on that this year. You have instructions and suggestions for thinking about annual goals, monthly goals, and weekly actions. One of the unique things about the MakseLife Planner is that your goal setting and tracking is built into your planner every single week. So the weekly actions really are one of the things that makes this planner unique. And so it makes sense that this has a full page, whereas this has one page for both annual and monthly goal setting. Then you turn into, again, the 8 areas, but suggestions and things to think about. So things about family and relationship, it may be a significant other. It could be quality time, whatever that is related to. Health and wellness could be exercise, but it could also be dealing with stress or trauma. So I just love the holistic approach of the goal setting with the Moxie system. You get an entire dot grid page to work through. You could do it as a mind map, kind of a rough draft area. So I really love the space that's been incorporated. When you get to actually writing your annual goals, the whole goal setting process is very simplified in Moxie and very streamlined. It gets you right into the goal setting. And so you're already at the pages where you want to write out your goals. One of the things that they changed this year is to add a focus. So if you have kind of an intention or a key thing that you want to think about with your goals in this area, you can kind of put that there. I did that this year. So once I wrote out all my goals for fun and recreation, really my overarching goal was to maximize my paid time off. And I initially wanted to travel every single month, either by myself or with family, or for something that was not work related. And clearly I had to adjust that goal in 2020. But in writing out kind of my focus, I just put like time off, and it was enough of a keyword to remind me of the rest of the detail of the goal. So I love that that's built in. And then the font, as in many other places, has been brought up to a larger font in a little bit darker color for this last question that it asks you in every area, which is, how will my life improve by reaching these goals in this category? Your annual goals for all 8 areas are on 2 pages. Again, the year is separated. It's labeled for the year, but it's separated out from the words, so there's not double stacking of the font. That was a huge improvement, and dating things more throughout the planner. But I will say, if there's one thing I would love to see, it would be all of the goals on one page. So the benefit here is you have plenty of room to write and rewrite and adjust your goals throughout the year, so I can appreciate that. But even with this, I know there's a lot of pages in the MakseLife Planner already, but I would love to have all of my goals at a quick glance on one page. Now, you could take something like this dot grid space and use it that way if you want. It's just something to think about, that it is on 2 pages. Then you have not only a single page for vision boarding, but a double page. And this is also just a blank slate for you to work on. Then you get into some goal setting quick tips. So this is kind of at the end. You've already set your goals. So I do recommend when you go through the process to kind of peruse the entire section here at the beginning before you actually write out your goals, because there are some really great tips here. So I do, again, I kind of wish this was maybe ahead of where you set your goals, but I think it might have just come down to page placement. There's, again, already so many pages in this planner to be able to put this here and then go right into your months. It does make sense. You can also access it very quickly when you're doing your monthly goal setting or weekly actions, you could go right to the January tab and then go to this quick tip page. So that's the plus of it being this last page in the goal setting section. Okay, that's a lot of information already, you guys, but let's get into the pretty stuff. So the quotes on each monthly tab, most monthly tabs have been colored and just a little more fun, so I love that. And then on each monthly view, there's a couple of big changes. One, you have a little bit of a color scheme for each month. So January is this beautiful navy blue, and the year is underneath the word, again, separated out. Then your date dots are moved to the corner, but they are still the little circle, which is just like the habit tracker and other things throughout the planner. Again, the quote has been dialed up into a deeper color. So you have a monthly view with a column here and a little preview of the next month's calendar. Every month you're going to follow your monthly calendar view with a monthly goals spread. Again, the month has been labeled here, whereas before it just said monthly goals. You still have your focus area and your color coding of your 8 areas of life. Then you have what will be typical of every week throughout the planner, a dot grid page instead of a lined page. It used to say notes and reflections. Now you can use it however you want. You still have tips every single week, and these tend to be in areas that most people find themselves adjusting. So this one says dedicating 10 to 15 minutes a week to set your goals will give you more control, etc. So it's kind of just giving you tips for the things that may be relevant at the beginning of the year. And then as we found in the Moxie community throughout the year, the timing of some of the tips was just, it was uncanny how relatable they were for like back to school season, summer with, more family time and that kind of thing. Dot grid page here instead of lined with a title. And then your weekly actions, you start to have a countdown in this new planner. So this is week 53 of the year, and then it counts down throughout the planner. You still have your color coding system for each area of life for your goal setting, and then your weekly view. So a couple of changes here, again with the dates. Instead of having, say, December 30th with a W large and kind of hidden behind it, layered behind it, everything is separated out. I'm really curious to see how date headers fit from various companies here, but I do like it. And then at the bottom, the gratitude section, or whatever you want to use it for, is no longer grayed with the stripe. So that signature Moxie stripe, this area was shaded with that before. That's been removed, so you can use whiteout. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sierra. And then you have your lined section over here, and you've been given one more habit tracker. So the horizontal for 2020 had this many habit trackers, and the vertical had one less. But one of the changes I really like is that the little tracking dots are not colored in this 2021 version. So overall, you get pops of color. So you have this blue color throughout January, and you have other colors each month. But the planner is basically still neutral. You're not fighting, a pattern all through here, some big icon or whatever. If you want to use stickers, or if you want a really simple neutral planner, you can use this planner like that. Okay, so this continues every week. So correction to what I said earlier. I said that this showed you week 53 and counted down, but really it's giving you that kind of carryover week of Christmas to New Year's. So you have the end of December to January 3rd, and then it counts up from there. I said count down, but it counts up. So week 1, this is your first full week in the year, and so it counts that as week 1. This continues throughout the month. And again, this is the vertical view. And then when you get to the end of the month, you finish your weekly spread with the last day in January. This week happens to work out that way. It is Monday through Sunday in the week view and Sunday through Saturday in the calendar view. That's common for planners and calendars, so you do have that difference of which day your week starts with in different views. Once you're done with your weekly views for the month, you have a place for monthly reflections. Again, this has been titled for the month that it corresponds to. And then each of these questions were in the planner in 2020, but they've all been given equal space. So I really appreciate that. And then you have just a 1 to 10 to overall value your month. Again, you move into a quote to start the month, and everything else in the February, it is this kind of teal color. And then March is green. April is kind of a gray blue. May is yellow. June is orange. July is red. August is purple. September is blue again. October is teal like February. Green for November like March. And blue again for December, or blue-gray. And that is how they continue. It is the wire O binding, just the same as before. If you haven't caught the updates from Sierra and the Moxie team, they really did evaluate a lot of sources trying to get a coil option, but with the number of pages to have these weekly reflections, monthly reflections, quarterly assessments, everything built into this planner, it's simply too many pages for any coil that's on the market, that's available. And so Wire O is the only way to have a full year planner. But check out what she has planned for mid-2021. There may be other options coming. Okay, so we've gone through a month view. We go through the first quarter all the way to end of March, and instead of having monthly reflections and a quote on your April tab, you have a quarterly compass for quarter one. And this is the same thing you'll see for quarter two and quarter three and quarter four. So this one is on April. The next one is on July, and so on October. And then you also get one for the end of the year. So let's go to the very end of December, and you'll have a quarterly compass for Q4. Now, one thing I want to show you, so for months, when the month ends, let's talk about how your weekly view ends. So in November, the last day of November is going to be after your December view. So let me just show you. So December starts on a Wednesday. So the week that has the last few days of November and the first few days of December are in the first week after December. So I know sometimes that's a question. Let's get into what comes in the planner after the extras tab. So after your quarterly compass for Q4, you get a 2-page spread for your calendar overview. You have 2021 and 2022. Again, you can see what colors the months are in the planner by looking at this overall color scheme, because this has been colored this year. And then you have a few lines for important dates in each year. Now, in 2020, that would probably been sufficient. So I would love to see, at least for the current year, a 2021 in this case across 2 pages with lines under each calendar view. I really, really love that. And, you know, I think that's something that she's considering for the future. And then the upcoming year, I think this would be sufficient. All of this on 1 page is great. Then you have 13 lined pages. So don't forget that every single month in this planner, after your monthly view and after your monthly goals, each week you have a dot grid page before your weekly actions. So you have at least 52 or 53 dot grid pages throughout the planner. And then you have the additional 13 lined at the back. So you don't have any dot grid pages at the back, but you have a ton of dot grid pages throughout the planner. And when I say 13 pages, I mean 13 sides. So you could even designate these, one for each month, just a place for notes throughout the month, and have a lined page. You have plenty of room for that. You have a double-sided pocket page that's been upgraded with the quotes and a little bit of color. And the inside of the planner itself and the pockets have been coated to make them more durable. You have this built-in sticker sheet of matte stickers. If you haven't already seen my video on the 15-page functional sticker book that is available at launch, I'll leave a link for that here in a card as well as the description below. But you do get a few stickers just built right into the planner, and I like that. Then you have a slip pocket still at the back, so an extra pocket there. And then you still have an elastic band on the back cover, and that allows you to close the entire planner and keep it closed. I personally love to keep a pen right in the top, right here. Let's go through a few more bits of information. If you guys have questions that I haven't answered by the time this video is over, make sure you leave them in the comments. And if you have found this flip through helpful, I hope that you would like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. The paper itself is still 120 GSM, recycled paper, bright white finish with soy-based ink. So this planner is very eco-friendly. No leather, soy-based ink. I just think if you are looking for something that's good for the environment, that's another reason to consider this planner maybe over something else if you are trying to decide between something. Then you have the wire binding as discussed, but with the paper, this paper, what they did, so everything is basically the same except she worked with the manufacturer of the paper to get something that was a little softer, so it's not as likely to crease. If you've watched any of my plan with me's for 2020, you may have seen where it tends to crease if I need to pull something off or fold the page a little bit to get to something, and that's just because I'm using a lot of stickers, which is not necessary. But anyway, so the pages do have the same weight, brightness, recycled paper, and so on, but the paper is just a little bit softer and it keeps it from creasing as easily. So I love that. Okay, we've talked about the paper, we've talked about the coil, we've talked about how it's laid out inside, and we've talked about a lot of the improvements. I'm going to call them improvements. I still wish I had a single view for my goals for the year, but we had improvements in pops of color, increased font size, more boldness in the font so you can notice the quotes of encouragement and tips throughout the planner every week. So a lot of great changes in that sense, but as I mentioned, they're very much design changes and not a huge change to the actual structure of this planner. One of the things that is a huge change is, even though I showed you this cover and told you there's 3 more available, what I haven't told you yet is that you can change the covers starting in 2021. Here is the second cover, and this is the other artist's cover. I am so excited to have this option. I love the message of this, to hold on to your vision. And I'm so excited to have both covers from the artists that have worked with Moxie for 2021. The planner with the single cover that you choose when you order it is $68. And if you're new to spending a little bit more on a planner, let me just tell you, take 68 and divide it by 12 and ask yourself if you're worth about $5.50 a month to have your life organized and to really set some intentions and work towards goals that are important to you. If the answer to that is yes, then it won't even really matter about the price. And but if it is a stretch for you, then there may be some alternatives in other products that are available and coming from Moxie, like a separate goal setting planner book and system. So you can get all of the goal setting section that is in the front of this, all of the tips, all of the instructions in a separate booklet with 4 quarterly notebooks for your monthly view and your monthly goals for each month. It will not be coil bound like this. They're A5 size bound notebooks. Those will be available after launch. You'll be able to order them, like pre-order them at launch, but they will ship in December. And since it's a new product and just all the delays of 2020, those are coming a little bit later. So the regular planners will be available on launch day. The sticker book, as I mentioned, if you haven't seen that video, Those will be available as well. The extra covers, I believe, will be available on launch day. So the companion notebooks, the 4 sections, that will be $48. The sticker book is $20, and you will also be able to get the bookmarks. These are mine from 2020. So one is my vision, one is monthly goals, and one is this week. And these are just great for keeping on your annual goals, your monthly goals, and your current week. Those are $15 for all 3. You do need to add those to your order if you want those. They do not come in the planner. And the covers, the extra covers, are $10. You guys, these are really sturdy covers. And even with this extra cover set, you get the elastic band, you get the slip pocket for the back. So this is a huge value for $10. I really, really love it. If you'd like to see a video of me changing the covers, please let me know in the comments below. But those will be $10. And I think that's about it. There's a lot more to come from Moxie in the coming year, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to make sure to see what's coming out as it's new. And I just thank you so much for your time today. I hope you had as much fun flipping through this new planner with me as I did. I love the community of the MakseLife Facebook group and over on Instagram. So join me most days on Instagram at Tammy Skipper. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.